Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, it's Duke.
And it's Corey.
This is our second episode of the Drive-In Review. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about movies that are turning 30 this month in February.
Yes.
So in the February of 1993, several movies came out. A few of them are pretty good, we've found.
Yeah. About a handful.
Any thoughts on those?
There's some good ones. They're memorable.
Okay. It's very in-depth of you.
First one we could talk about is not a well-known one, but we can talk about Falling Down.
I love Falling Down. It's a great film.
Yeah. Did you know it was based on a true story?
I did not know that. Tell me. Tell me more. Tell
basi-
me more.
Basically, it's based on a true story about a teenager that went down the wrong path, and about his family struggling to keep up and deal. Again, kind of like a after-school special kind of thing.
Oh.
So
We need to do an entire episode about after-school specials.
Well, do some G.I. Joe PSAs.
Chachis and...
Pork chop sandwiches.
So the first movie we're going to talk about is Falling Down. When was that released?
That movie came out February 26, 1993. It was directed by Joel Schumacher.
The one and only Joel Schumacher, who died in 2020.
Yes. It was produced by Warner Brothers, and it had a budget of $18.1 million and grossed $96 million, so pretty decent.
It made some money. Made its money back, plus.
IMDb gave it 7.6 out of 10.
That's pretty decent.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 75%.
That's good.
I didn't get the audience rating on that.
Okay.
And then Letterboxd gave it 3.6 out of 5. So
that's a good film.
Awesome ratings, right?
I would assume that the audience rating for that on Rotten Tomatoes is fairly high.
I'd say probably mid-60s, maybe.
I'd say it's higher than
it's higher than that?
review ratings. Yeah.
It was very, very emotional movie.
Yeah.
Like I think today it would even fit in today's society. Just the breakdown, especially with COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that. But I can see a lot of people nowadays, even in our older years, relating to the movie and the stress that we go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Dealing with the public and assholes. But
Right.
I definitely relate to it. And sometimes when I go to buy a soda, I'm think to myself, 80 cents for a soda? And as we were talking about the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter, I tried to go full on French with it. 75% was the review rating. 84% was the audience rating.
Wow, okay, so much higher.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great film. Do you have any cool trivia about the movie, or?
The director.
Of course, he's a well-known director, Joel Schumacher. What else has he done?
He's done Bad Company with Chris Rock and Anthony Hopkins. 8mm, the weird
Nick Cage film.
It was very
The underground
out there.
snuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very out there.
Of course, Lost Boys.
Of course, The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Can't forget that one. And then the number 23 with Jim Carrey.
I've seen that a couple times. I think the first time I saw it, it didn't really hit really well. I probably expected more from it, but I think it grew on me the second time I seen it. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, it was very, very creepy, kind of suspenseful. It was very weird for Jim Carrey to do something like that, and I liked it right off the bat.
I like that Jim Carrey can jump into those different roles and pull it off.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to think that they can't stand Jim Carrey for one reason or another, but I think he's very versatile and
Yeah,
can do.
he's definitely shown over the years that he can do more than just comedy.
And I enjoy his comedy personally. I think he's a very funny man.
Yeah.
Do you have any other trivia aside from the director himself, themselves, herself, itself?
I don't have any. Do you?
I have nothing.
Yeah. So we can move on. Next on our list, let's go ahead and get this one over with. This is Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Of course, it was produced by Disney. Came out in February 3rd of 1993.
Corey's
And-
all about it.
It was a good film. I like family films. I'm not opposed to Disney.
I'm not opposed either. They're real hit and miss with me personally, but
It was a remake. It was a Disney remake of a Disney classic,
Yeah.
The Incredible Journey. It was produced by Duane Dunham. Not Dwayne, but Duane.
produced or directed?
Oh, I'm sorry, directed.
Okay.
Produced by Disney.
Yeah.
It made a budget of top secret information.
Oh, another government film.
Yes. Go Disney. But it grossed 57 million, so that's a lot back in 93.
Again, made its money?
Maybe.
We'll
that's-
never know.
That's why it's top secret.
Yeah,
IMDb gave it 6.9 out of 10.
it's pretty decent.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 87% with an audience of 71%.
That's good. That's a good film.
Letterboxd also gave it 3.3 out of 5. So
That's pretty
decent.
above
Yeah,
average.
Above average. It starred the voices of Don Amici.
Don Amici did one of the dogs, the golden retriever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his name was Shadow in the movie. Of course, Don Amici, we know him from Trading Spaces. Or Trade.
You need to stop watching television.
Oh, TLC moment
Yeah.
there. Trading Spaces.
Trading Places, you mean?
Yes.
You did it again.
I did it again.
Yeah, he
Oh.
was also in Trading Places. He
Cocoon.
played Cocoon. He was in Oscar.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yep. And he was an actor from the 30s and 40s as well. He's done numerous films.
Yes. Yeah, he was in Folks with Tom Selleck. Mr. Mustache. And Pals.
You saying Howls?
No, Pals.
Owls?
No, Pals.
Are you saying Pam? Pan?
No, Pan.
Pan?
Pals.
Pans?
P-A-L-S.
Pants?
with George C. Scott.
Okay.
Also in it was the voice of Sally Field. She played a Himalayan cat named Sassy.
That's saucy.
Yeah, right? Apparently she's, immortal because she went down rapids and fell down a waterfall and still survived.
Sally Field did?
No,
Like
the
in real
cat.
life?
The cat.
Oh.
I don't know if the cat survived, but
Is
I'd
the
have to
cat
be-
still alive?
no.
Do you think the animals are still alive?
God, no. If they were, then there is some top secret stuff going on at Disney that we don't know about.
It is Disney.
Also, Chance, he was an American Bulldog, and he was voiced by Michael J. Fox
Oh.
himself.
The inimitable Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
I just made that word up.
Minimal?
Inimitable.
Okay.
Just roll with it. Okay.
Sound like you did too.
Thanks. All right. So Michael J. Fox voiced the Bulldog.
Yes. And the director.
Do we really
Dwayne-
need to talk about Michael J. Fox though?
No. I mean, we can, but we're only shooting for an hour here.
Okay. Exactly. We can go off on a full tangent.
Yes. Back to the Future. Okay. We'll stop there.
That's all he's done.
Right. I almost say Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne.
Duane Dunham also directed Little Giants. with your favorite Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah. Don't you dare write a song right now, Dwayne.
And then Ed
Has Rick
O'Neill.
Moranis ever directed anything, do you think?
He did direct one movie.
Yeah.
And that was Strange Brew.
Did he direct that along with Dave Thomas?
He did.
Nice. So that's pretty much all he's directed then.
Yeah, he did produce quite a bit of movies.
So he's mainly an actor, writer, producer,
Yes.
not so much director.
Right. And he's also a singer.
Do you have any other information about Homeward Bound? The Incredible Journey.
No.
Do you have any information on Dwayne Cox? I mean, Dunham.
No.
No?
That's it for me.
Because he's not directed much of anything else?
Not really, just Little Giants. And
Oh, and
he,
Little Giants,
he was
right.
mainly like a Disney director.
Okay.
He did some non...
Wasn't Rick Moranis in Little Giants? You just said that,
He
right?
was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just catching up.
Way to stay on board there.
Thanks. Do you want to move on to another movie?
Yeah.
We
why don't
have
you
a
pick
few
one?
movies that were released just in February of 1993. Falling Down and Homeward Bound and all the other movies that rhyme. Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead, was released in the U.S. in 1993. It was actually released in February 12th of 93, released in the U.S. Originally, it was released August 13, 1992 in New Zealand, and it was directed by the one and only Peter Jackson. It's one of his earlier films.
Right. And then he...
Of course,
made
we know what else he's directed.
Yeah, King Kong.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one?
I liked it.
I did too. A lot of people thought it flopped, but, you know, John Goodman, I thought he did a good role in it.
John Goodman?
Yeah, he was in it.
Was he?
He was a film director. Or was he? No, that's...
Jack Black?
That's Skull Island I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Yeah, Jack Black was in it.
I
He
thought
was the-
Jack Black did a really good job.
Yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I thought John Goodman did a good job. Except he wasn't in the movie.
Right. He was in one of them, wasn't he? Was he in Skull Island? I think he was. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. There's so many Kong movies.
So, Brain Dead, or Dead Alive, as we know it, was distributed by Universal Pictures. It was created on a budget of $3 million, and Peter Jackson actually lost his ass on this film because the movie worldwide grossed $242,000.
Which is shocking, compared to how gross it was. Like,
Yeah, because it was, to this day, it is considered the bloodiest film ever made. 300 liters of blood was actually used just in the final scene of the movie. And when the main character is using his lawnmower to kill off all the dead, the walking dead, or the living creatures that
Right.
are not live.
let's just call them zombies.
Okay. That's what they're called.
Right.
Yeah. But they were using, apparently they were pumping 5 liters of fake blood per second to film that scene.
Wow. It'd be interesting. It would be interesting to find out like how much blood was used in The Shining.
So, according to the interwebs, The Shining used, 300 gallons
Yes.
of blood for the elevator scene?
Yeah, the elevator. Was it blood or was it red water?
Maybe it was red rum.
Red rum.
So yeah, since there's about 3.7 liters in 1 gallon, Dead Alive used nearly 4 times as much blood as The Shining.
That's almost
That's
1,200.
a lot of blood.
1,200 gallons
Yeah,
of blood.
that's a lot. So, like I said, the movie grossed $242,623 against a budget of $3 million. So, didn't do quite as well. But apparently, in New Zealand, per theater, the film grossed more money than Batman Returns that summer. So, which is, it seems odd to me, but
Some strange people in New Zealand.
I guess. IMDb rated it 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty damn good
Yeah.
for a horror movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 89%. Those are the review ratings. And 87% for the audience rating.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
So all in all, it flopped in the movies, but
It's a cult classic.
Yeah, there's an audience for it.
Oh, totally. And I know you haven't seen it yet, but I implore you to watch it soon. Because I think it's a great horror film. Entertaining. It's funny. Super gory. You can't beat that.
Right.
If you like horror movies or enjoy it in any way,
Yeah,
I definitely suggest you watch it. 'Cause
definitely broadened my horizon on the horror movies.
it's entertaining.
Yeah.
The genre is entertaining, especially when you can get a comedic kick out of the films, not just a scare.
Right.
And I think it really kind of bothers me when people say, I didn't like the movie because it's not scary. Do people really go to the movies to get scared still? I don't know. I'm guessing people still go to the movies to get scared, but if you are a horror movie freak, you're not really scared of any films anymore.
If you want to pay money to get scared, I think you would save money going to an amusement park more than you would going to a movie theater anymore these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inflation.
So Dead Alive actually
It won some awards.
did it.
Yeah. So.
Well, I forgot to talk about Letterboxd. It
Oh, go ahead.
3.9 out of 5.
That's awesome.
For a horror movie, yeah, it's
With all those ratings,
really high.
you would be amazed that it's amazing that it flopped, that they lost money.
Right.
So.
But, who knows? It could have been bad marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it was a New Zealand film, and I don't know how well it did outside of New Zealand.
You think it would have done better in the theaters if it was released like 10 years earlier? With like the Blob remake and then
I don't
Gremlins.
know. I don't know. I'm not sure how to compare that if it was going to be released in New Zealand and then elsewhere in 83 versus being released in the US in 1983. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how that I'm sure it would have found an audience somewhere, but
Yeah, it did win some awards.
tell me about that, Sea Dog.
In Amsterdam, it won the Amsterdam Fantastic Film Festival. It won the Silver Screen Award.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson won it for director in New Zealand. Peter Jackson also won a grand prize winner for the Avoriaz Fantastic Film Festival.
A grand prize?
Yeah.
What is that, like a...
You
Is
got
that like
a teddy bear.
It's like a Milky Way thing? You have
Right.
to collect all 5 and win a wristwatch or something?
Participation trophy.
A what? Don't do it again. Don't say
No.
that again.
No.
But Peter Jackson, as we were talking about... I'm sorry, did you find any more awards?
Oh yeah, there's several of them, but I mean that's not important. I mean, it's all Peter Jackson, so we can move on to what else he's done.
Well, the movie was shot in 11 weeks.
That's it.
In 11 weeks, yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, the original budget was for 4.5 million, but Mr. Jackson was able to get it done with 3 million. Aside from King Kong and Lord of the Rings, which he's known for, I think one of his first films was Bad Taste.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of that one?
No.
You might have seen the cover of it since you worked at a movie rental
Right.
place.
Several of them, yes.
The cover was an alien giving people the finger.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was Peter Jackson's first film, Bad Taste. Kind of a cheesy film.
That was
What
back in
taste?
1987.
What, Bad Taste?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got for Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead.
What's next?
Next one I got is Army of Darkness. It is the third film in the Evil Dead series, directed by Sam Raimi. It was released February 19th, 1993. Originally, it was released in festivals overseas in 1992. Finally made it to the U.S. in February of 93. So that is turning 30 years old this month. Distributed by Universal Pictures. It was made on a budget of $11 million and grossed $11.5 million. So just made its money back
Right.
in theaters alone.
Better to break even than go home broke.
Yeah. IMDb, it is rated a 7.4 out of 10, which is pretty decent. Again, of course, it is a cult classic along with all the other Evil Dead films. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 74%, and the audience rating it at an 87%, which again is pretty good. I think that's exactly the same as Dead Alive, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Letterboxd gave it 3.7 out of 5, which again is
Yeah, you can't go wrong with
well above average.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few of his movies. Hit and miss. Bubba Hotep is another good one with Bruce Campbell. I believe it's coming out on Blu-ray this month as well.
Really?
So
He's
Blu-ray,
also-
4K.
He's also known for Burn Notice on TV, the TV series Burn Notice. That was really good.
Was he?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge TV series guy.
I watched quite a few episodes of it.
He was also in My Name is Bruce. Also did Ash vs. Evil Dead. What?
My Name is Bruce.
My Name is Bruce.
Fisher family, not for friends, not food. Yeah. I was going with the Finding Nemo there.
So about Sam Raimi, can you tell me what kind of movies he's directed?
I mean, the name
Of course,
sounds familiar.
he's Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Well, he's almost a household name by this point.
Right.
No idea. Any guesses?
Didn't he do like Spider-Man?
Yes, he did. All three of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, as a matter of fact. He's also did all of the first three Evil Dead movies, of course.
And also the new one. He's producing it.
Producing. He is not directing the Evil Dead Rises, and he did not direct the last Evil Dead movie that was released 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. But he also directed Darkman. You remember Darkman?
Yes, that's a classic Liam Neeson.
Yeah. And Dr. Giggles himself as the bad guy.
That movie made me terrified of dentists.
Dr. Giggles?
Yes.
It's another movie coming out on Blu-ray this
Is it
month.
really?
Yeah. I'm surprised to see that particular movie being released on Blu-ray.
Right.
Never thought I'd see that coming out on Blu-ray.
Now, here's an odd one. He's done,
Talking about Sam Raimi?
yeah, he's done several, like horror movies and stuff like that, like Army of Darkness.
Sure.
Drag Me to Hell. That
Yeah,
one was a
that
good
was another one.
Then here's an oddball. Oz and the Great and Powerful.
Did he do that?
He did do that one.
Did he direct
He
it?
directed it.
Huh. I did not know that.
That was kind of an odd movie.
That is wanky stuff.
Yeah.
He also directed one of our favorite Western films.
Tombstone.
No, not Tombstone.
Not
The
Tombstone?
other one.
The other one?
The other really good
What's
one.
the other movie? Oh,
Quick and the Dead.
Yeah.
Yep. He's also just recently directed Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness. Have you watched that yet?
No.
Are you behind on your MCU?
I am definitely behind. I think I've seen half of the 25 movies there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that movie kind of fell below expectations for a lot of people, including myself. I did watch it in theaters, and It wasn't as good. It was not as good as the first Doctor Strange film, IMO.
Yeah, I definitely have some catching up to do.
Yes, you do.
I'll
But I do
probably
have.
Be,
I'm sorry. What?
so I'll probably be 40 something before that happens.
What are you, a woman? You don't want to tell what your real age is?
I meant to say older. I just realized I'm over 40 already.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to make myself younger than what I am.
When
Okay?
you make yourself younger, you're making me younger.
Yeah. See, I mean,
So I'm all for it.
2 peas in a pod.
2 Pete's in a pod.
It's a fine.
It's a fine. But I do have some trivia regarding Army of Darkness.
Okay.
First of all, the Oldsmobile that is used in damn near every single Sam Raimi film.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this film in particular, when Bruce Campbell is sent back in time to the medieval times, you see the Oldsmobile drop from the sky onto the ground. Well, they used a crane to lift up the Oldsmobile and drop it, and they did 2 takes of that particular scene. The first time they did it, when they picked up the Oldsmobile, the crane had some mechanical issues and actually failed and fell over a cliff.
Holy crap.
I guess the guy that was operating the crane jumped out, so there was no deaths or injuries. But the next day or something like that, to get like an 80-ton crane to come and pick up the other crane and get it out of the cliff.
Wow. It's
But
amazing
yeah,
they
so-
got their money back on that movie.
Right. Right. But yeah, it took them 2 takes to get it the first time. The crane fell off the cliff. The cliff.
The crap.
And a cliff. Let's see, what else I got? The concept of the medieval times for the movie was originally intended for Evil Dead 2. But Sam Raimi had to cut that idea out to match his budget. So
Gotcha.
he pushed that idea on to part 3.
He put a pin in it. And,
He did.
yeah.
Literally put a pin in it. But I really, as a kid, when I was about 12 when that movie came out, so about 12 or 13 when I first saw it. I really enjoyed it. My mom did too. We both watched it together. I
Nice.
enjoyed it. Another fun fact: Tracy Lords auditioned for the main role, the main female role. Obviously didn't get it, but I think it's interesting that she auditioned
Oh, yeah.
for the movie. But that's all I got for that movie. Some interesting little tidbits and facts and
Right. Here's a fact for you on Army of Darkness. Ted Raimi
yeah,
was
I've met him.
in the film. Did you?
I did. Nice
Now,
guy.
he's- What relation is he to Sam Raimi?
This is his
Is that
brother.
his brother?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had.
Oh, you just wanted to.
I just wanted to point that out.
Name drop Ted.
Yeah, I just want to say something since it's been forever since I've seen this movie.
Well, Ted and Sam were both in an '80s slasher film called Intruder. Good film. If you have time, check that one out. It came out in 1989. It's a little slasher that takes place inside of a shop, a grocery store, after hours.
Okay.
So there's some pretty cool little gory kills in there. Features Sam and Ted Raimi, and I believe Bruce Campbell makes a little cameo in it as well.
Nice. I'll
But yeah,
definitely-
check that one out.
Definitely check that one out.
Intruder. Well, that's all I got for Evil Dead, or sorry, not Evil Dead, but Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 3. What do you got, man?
Well, I mean, since we're talking about February '93, we can't go without talking about Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah. Saw that movie with my mama in theaters when it first came out.
Now, it came out on February 12th.
Which is weird because Groundhog Day is February 2nd.
Right.
And I could have sworn when I watched it in theaters with my mom that we had watched it on Groundhog Day. But learning now that it came out on February 12th, It
Right.
kind of screws up my whole timeline in my
Kinda-
head.
Did you have like a placebo effect?
Yeah,
Since you were watching Groundhog Day, you thought it was Groundhog Day?
apparently. Apparently that's what happened because I'm not going to be the same after this, Corey.
It's going to scar you for life.
Yeah.
So, it came out February 12th, 1993.
What?
It was directed by Harold Ramis, who we sadly lost in 2014.
Yeah, that sucks.
And do we really need to talk about Harold Ramis?
I mean, we can, but we only want to keep this down to about an hour.
Right. So,
One of his last things he directed was Year One.
yes. And then the second to last was Walk Hard.
No, he didn't
Oh,
direct that.
He
was just-
acted in that
yeah,
one. Yeah, he was an Amish guy.
yeah.
Rehab.
Rehab.
It had a budget of 14.6 million, but grossed 105. So, I mean, that
Did
is
well.
remarkable.
Did very well. 105 million for a comedy in the early 90s. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That's
it had a star-studded cast. It had Bill Murray, of course,
Andy McDowell,
Annie McDowell,
Chris Elliott,
Chris Elliott, yes.
Rick Ducommun, who we were talking about in the last.
In the last episode, he's
Yeah.
in everything.
Yep.
I'm telling you, he just pops up.
And also Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah, yeah, he was the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian Doyle.
Brian Doyle Murray.
IMDb gave it 8 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 94%.
That's outstanding.
I didn't get audience.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. The Letterbox gave it 3.8 out of 5.
That's well above average.
It was produced by Columbia Pictures,
Okay.
which they're known for a lot of movies back then in more of the 90s.
88% from Rotten Tomatoes for
Okay.
the audience score.
Wow.
That's below the review rating, which is actually
Right.
pretty interesting.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that because I would be on the other 12% that.
Do you think it should be above the
yeah, it should
review
be,
rating?
Yeah, it should be above 88, I believe. It was a great movie.
Yeah, we just watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were preparing for this episode, we had it on in the background,
Yep.
enjoying it for the millionth time.
All right.
You got any fun facts?
I do. So, how long do you think he was in this time loop?
Well, this has been a source of debate for film fans for probably the last 20 years or so, if not longer.
Right. Harold Ramis said himself that it was about 10 years, that it would take 10 years to learn anything.
Okay.
But there was actually a study done from a university, and they calculated it to the day of how long he was in there. 12,395 days. That's 33 years, 350 days he was in there.
So I wonder how long did it take them to complete this study? Clearly not 33 years because the
Right.
movie hasn't been out that long.
Right.
So how did they complete this study is my question.
Probably just every day that he repeated and what he said and everything, how long it takes for
An
an
estimate
average.
of how long it takes
Yeah,
for
how long an average person takes to learn French, how to play the piano, how to ice sculpt, and just took that together and combined it with an calculated, accurate amount of time. But 33 years,
No.
repeating the same day, I would kill myself too.
Yeah. Several dozen times, yeah.
Yeah. It's never been said how many times he actually tried, but a lot more than what was shown.
Right, because there is a scene where he's talking about I've drowned, I've electrocuted myself. So he's naming off all these things, ways that he's killed himself, and he says a couple of ways that we don't actually see him do on screen.
Right.
So, yeah, what other ways has he tried to kill himself?
Yeah. And what was the moral of this movie? Just to not be so arrogant and
Yeah, probably.
do the right thing, because he was a narcissist.
Yeah, it's a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah. So I thought it was Harold
Or
Ramis.
do the right thing.
Right.
Come on, get with it.
So yeah, so Harold Ramis. Let's talk to him about him for a minute. About
Okay.
what else he's directed. Caddyshack was his first directorial debut. I did not know that.
Yeah, 1980.
Yeah. National Lampoon's National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah, I did not realize that he directed that.
Another good one of mine is Multiplicity. Love that movie.
That is a good movie. For the longest time, I remember watching that either on TV or on DVD, and it had that stupid pan and scan, which I can't stand. I can't stand the pan and scan. So finally, they released it on Blu-ray, which finally had a good
widescreen.
a widescreen to it, and took out that stupid pan and scan.
I don't know why they ever came out with that.
I don't know either. I'm assuming aspect ratio.
Well, they were doing away with the tube televisions and going to flat screens.
Okay.
I think that's the reason why they did the pan and scan. So some of the older like VHS tapes would adapt to the flat screen.
Okay. I remember when I would say this was probably about 1990. The first time I saw the black bars on the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Karate Kid Part 3, and I was like, I really can't stand the widescreen thing because
Yeah, you really think
it's
that
distracting.
Yeah, you feel like you're losing part of the movie, part of the picture.
Exactly. But then again, this was not on a widescreen television back over 30 years ago. It was just one of those regular ass box TVs
Right.
that weighed 50,000 pounds. But yeah, it was annoying. Not as annoying as pan and scan.
Right. Duly
I'm
noted.
gonna write an entire children's book about how much I hate pan and scan.
Should make it a Dr. Seuss
Yeah,
rhyme.
I'm down. I'm working on it tonight.
I am Sam. Sam, I am. I hate pan and scan.
So what else you got from Harold Ramis?
Bedazzled
Yeah, great film.
with Brendan Fraser, which we mentioned in our last episode.
Hmm. And we'll continue to talk about him
Right.
because he's fantastic.
And I mean, he's been in a lot. So,
Still look forward to watching The Whale, and once we do, I'm going to talk about it.
yes. So, that's all I've got on that. And how about we introduce our ratings to the world, because we forgot to do that in our last episode.
Our ratings? Yes, let's do that. So we'll be rating our movies from 1 to 10, and instead of using stars or popcorn bags, we'll be using,
Slates,
slates like the...
aka clapperboard.
So yes, our rating system will contain and consist of slates,
Right.
1 to 10.
So let's do this out of the movies that we have already talked about.
Do we have our 5? We've done Homeward Bound, Falling Down, all the other
Yeah.
rhyming movies?
I believe so.
No. I still have one more.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Jump Ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll get to our slate ratings later.
So after this movie, we'll rate the 6 that we have. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have one more. So the other movie that was released February of 1993 is National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1
That's right. Almost forgot about that one.
with Emilio Estevez and Sam Jackson
Oh yeah, can't forget old Sammy.
and several other people as well
Yeah.
take part in that film. It was directed by Gene Quintano, and it was released February 5th, 1993 by New Line Cinema. It was created on a budget of $13 million, and it grossed $27.9 million. So it did pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, fairly well. It made its money back.
Right.
Then some.
Wasn't a flop.
Not too much of a flop.
No.
For a spoof movie, it did fairly well. Not as well as Naked Gun or Hot Shots, I assume, but
Right.
IMDb gave it a 6.2 out of 10, which is not too bad.
Right.
A little above average. Rotten Tomatoes, though, the review ratings, 18%. But the audience gave it 50%.
It wasn't my favorite of any. It was good. It was entertaining, but it was to me it was over the top. Not talking about the Stallone movie either.
Well, you don't want to arm wrestle, brother?
No, we're good.
Okay. It was actually one of my favorite spoof films of all time.
Okay.
I would put it up there with Airplane and Naked Gun.
All right.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's funny as shit.
Right. And it's been a while since I've seen it, so I may have to rewatch it and
Yeah, I think you should.
incur that.
Yeah, I suggest that you rewatch it right now. Put it on right now.
Right.
But Letterboxd gave it 2.9 out of 5, which is pretty damn average.
Yeah.
Gene Quintano really hasn't directed anything noteworthy. I think he's directed like maybe 4 other films, and nothing noteworthy.
I can see why.
Yeah. I still like the movie. Shut your mouth. But yeah,
So those are the movies that came out in February. Do you want to?
those are some of the movies that came out in February. Also included in this list of February 1993 films was The Crying Game and Blood In, Blood Out.
Which I remember seeing that movie, and I thought it was a really good movie. I've only seen it maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I probably haven't seen it since the 90s.
Yeah.
But, Benjamin Bratt, it's got some other well-known actors, but it was your typical drug gang movie, gang war movie, And, I would put it up there with Kickboxer, Bloodsport. It was very action-packed.
Sure.
But it didn't do very good. In fact, it did very bad.
Yeah. Didn't it make $4 million against a $15 million budget or something like that?
It was a $35 million budget and only made not even $4.5 million.
Oh, good Lord.
So $31 million deficit.
Somebody was pissed.
Yes, very much so. I'm surprised Benjamin Bratt was in Miss Congeniality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, stuff like that can end your career.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a director. So, now that we got those out of the way, we can do our slate ratings. I do want to talk about another film that was released in 1993, something that will be turning 30 this year. It was not released this month 30 years ago, but it is something I'd like to throw out there, and I think we could do that with every episode. Just pick a movie or two from that's turning 30 this year and just talk about it, go over it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just make 30 the magic number this year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we might even, if we wanted to, pick something that's come out 40 years ago or 50 years ago. Something.
No, well,
if we're feeling frisky.
Let's not make us too old.
Oh, come on.
I mean, these movies
it's
are
turning
30...
100 years old this month.
Yeah, no.
You sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to do something from 1923?
I would never seen it, so...
You would. If we were going to talk about it.
If we're going to talk about it. All right. I'll open my horizons.
So let's go ahead and start with your films. Groundhog Day. What did you rate that one?
Groundhog Day, I gave it a little bit lower, just a niche lower than IMDb. I gave it a 7.5 slates out of 10.
Okay.
It was funny. It was entertaining. I think just the repetitiveness of it, I wanted more.
Repetitive as in?
I wanted more details.
Okay.
There should have been more into it than just what was there.
Is it possible that you've just seen the movie too many times?
That too. Definitely old the movie, especially when they play it 24 hours on Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Well, what did you give it?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 slates.
So that's your all-time best one, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
There is one on the list that I gave a full 10 out of 10 slates.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, good for you.
Yeah, thanks. But I mean, it's a classic film. I do hold some memories of that film. First time I saw it.
Falling Down. What did you give Falling Down?
That is the film I gave 10 out of 10 slates.
Really?
I love that film.
I gave it 8 out of 10. So that's my highest.
That's your highest rating?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just, like I said, it's a film that could, stand apart today's terms with COVID and just a psychotic breakdown of all the stress and flaws that are around the world today.
So that we can agree that that film is our favorite out of the six.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
It's a great film. What's the next one? Homeward Bound?
Homeward Bound. I gave it 6.5 slates out of 10.
Okay.
Great Disney family fun film. Who doesn't love that?
A lot of people do. A lot of people love them,
How
Disney films.
How much did you love it?
I loved it 5 slates out of 10. Of course, it has been quite a while since I've seen that film. Maybe over 15 years since I've seen it. But as of right now, I'd give it 5 slates out of 10.
That's par.
Yeah, it's a little below my average, but then again, that could change after another viewing.
Right. What's next on yours?
What do we got here? Dead Alive. I know you've not seen that, so you probably have a default rating.
I do. I blindly, just by you talking about it, I blindly gave it 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I know that's a little bit below par, but since I haven't seen it, I now want to see it now. So
Okay.
it's piqued my interest.
Is there a reason why you gave it 4 as opposed to like 1, 2, or 3?
Just the highlight of it, how much blood they used. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the goriest movie worldwide still to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Considered, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how much they've compared that to other films that have been released in the last couple of years, but
Right.
like Terrifier or anything like that, I'm sure
Oh,
it's
God.
still the most bloody.
More clown. You and clowns. Terrifier was definitely out there.
Yeah. Yeah, you still need to watch the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will,
you're gonna rush right out and do that.
Yeah,
I know.
I'll watch that eventually
Okay.
if I have the stomach for it.
I gave Dead Alive 9 out of 10 slates. Cult classic horror film, super bloody, super gory, very funny. And that's what I like out of my horror films, comedy and gore.
Right.
So if I could laugh at it and
Who doesn't like a good laugh when somebody's getting
sure, I mean
their head
that's
chopped off?
it's entertaining. And if I can quench my bloodlust in a film, then that helps too, and this film definitely does that.
All right, I'm definitely intrigued, and I will watch it.
You certainly should.
Another one, the last one, I blindly gave a rating for.
Army of Darkness.
Oh, was it Army of Darkness? Oh, yeah.
We still have Army of Darkness.
Yeah, we still got 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we haven't talked about Freaked yet, because I want to talk about Freaked here in a little bit.
Okay.
But Army of Darkness, what'd you give that one?
I gave that one 6 slates. Just over average. It's Bruce Campbell as Ash. I mean, Evil Dead franchise. I mean, it's got its comedy, it's got its horror. So I mean, it was decent.
Yeah, it's definitely a very corny and comedic film. When it comes to horror, it has the landmark Sam Raimi touch to it, and
Right.
all over it. But I gave it the same, 6 out of 10 slates.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was a kid, I would have gave it a much higher rating, probably an 8 out of 10. But
we've grown up since then.
over the years, it doesn't hit the same. So 6 out of 10 slates for me.
Right. All right, you wanted to talk about Freaked.
I do want to talk about Freaked. Freaked is a semi-horror film. It's a very bizarre film. It stars Alex Winter, who we know from The Lost Boys, Bill and Ted.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bogus.
Right.
It was also directed by Alex Winter, partly directed by Alex Winter. It also stars Mr. T as the bearded lady. And it also has Randy Quaid in the film.
Okay.
And William Sadler is also in the film.
Which is awesome because he's also in Bill and Ted.
A bunch of other stuff, too, that
Yes.
I continue to learn that he's in. I love me some
He's-
Billy Sadler.
He's like Rick Ducommun.
Yes.
He's just pops up
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
So Freaked was released by, or distributed by Vista, and it was released April 24th, 1993 in the U.S. It was made with a budget of $12 million and lost its ass, grossed $29,296. So again, I don't know if this was a marketing issue or what, but definitely lost its ass. Since then has become a cult classic, and that's another movie I suggest you watch. It's really good.
Yeah.
So Freaked and Dead Alive should be on your list.
Freaked, I've seen, I think back in the 90s, like
Okay.
briefly. I recognize Rob Roy.
Rob Roy. Is that the Liam Neeson movie?
Yeah, Liam Neeson was in it. You didn't know that? Was it Deep Roy?
Yeah, Deep Roy.
Deep Roy.
Yeah.
Weird name.
Who was
but-
in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, as the only Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
That's probably why, because Freak tanked so bad that
Yeah.
that was the only gig he could get.
It took 20 years to bounce back from, or 15 years, or
Right.
however long it was.
Like, there's an opening role for an Oompa Loompa. Hey!
Hey, hello. Over here. No, down here.
So blindly, I gave it.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Oh,
IMDb gave it 6.3 out of 10, which is pretty good. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 50%, and the audience rating gave it 66%, which, again, is pretty decent.
right.
Letterboxd gave it a 3.6 out of 5, which is
Yeah.
above average
Right.
for a film.
Cool.
Bobcat Goldthwait also voices a character in the film.
Really.
Yeah. And it was produced by the Chiodo Brothers production. If you remember the Chiodo Brothers,
I'm vaguely remember them.
they directed and created Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ah, see, you and clowns.
Yeah, there I go.
I actually like that movie though.
Killer Clowns?
That's one clown
Yeah.
movie I can watch.
That's a fun one.
It's a lot better than Terrifier.
Yeah, I guess. No, but I agree. I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And the Chiodo Brothers production company actually produced Freaks, or Freaked, not Freaks.
Right. That's
Which-
another movie.
Yeah, it's a 30s film.
Right.
But I thought that was interesting. Another interesting tidbit about the film was that Keanu Reeves made a cameo, and he was paid $1 million for his uncredited role for Ortiz the dog boy in the film.
Now that's kind of a conspiracy theory right there,
How's that?
because you have Freaked,
Mhm.
which starred Alex Winter,
Mm-hmm.
William Sadler,
Yeah.
and then you got a cameo from Keanu Reeves. I mean, this is like the pre-production of Bill and Ted.
Yep. Yeah, you can definitely link this film to the Bill and Ted series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the new Bill and Ted?
Face the Music.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
It was good. It was good. I wish it was more, but after waiting so long, I accepted it.
You get what you get.
Yeah.
And you don't throw a fit.
Right, pretty much.
So that's really all I got for Freaked. I really enjoyed the movie. I personally gave it 8 out of 10 slates.
All right. Well, like I said, it's been forever, so I blindly gave it 4 out of 10.
And
Just from what you said, and I remember watching it a long time ago, so it wasn't a bad movie,
Mhm.
but I just don't remember much of it, so
What do you remember? Do you remember anything?
I don't remember much. No,
Okay.
not at all.
So you don't remember anything.
Yeah, I know I've seen it, but I
Okay.
don't remember seeing it.
You remember watching it, but you don't remember any particular scenes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you gave it 4 out of 10 slates.
Yes.
All right. And that's really all I got for those films.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Drive-In Review. Hope you tune in next time when we're going to be talking about... I don't know what it is we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about next.
Yeah, I
So
don't
tune in
either.
next time to see what we're going to be talking about.
Right.
It'll be a big surprise to everybody.
We'll keep you in suspense.
Yeah. So
Until
Thanks.
then, so long.
Peace.
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day. Get up and shake that hog out there.
Yeah. Come here,